There is a good chance you never heard of GopiOS. There is macOS, Windows, Debian, Ubuntu, lot of other Linux-based distributions. But what is GopiOS? As I see, they have provided in their topic itself. What they are saying, TLDR, stable operating system for school, business and developers. Comes with preloaded software and App Center. That is Discover and Helper DAG. What Helper DAG does, it downloads app image, but it do not gives you in-depth understanding or under the hood information. So let's continue reading. What is GopiOS? GopiOS is a digital tool that sits between your hardware and software as all those other operating systems. What is the difference? It is free and open source in nature, containing proprietary drivers mainly for NVIDIA. I got it. So there are several Linux distributions out there. Those are open source. Even some Windows clones are there. Those are open source. But what is the difference? It provides drivers out of the box, especially those proprietary blobs, you understand. It comes with preloaded software that makes it useful for school, business and developers. Even for developers, setting up your system and especially managing those drivers is little hard and especially time consuming. So it comes preloaded. Individual users, schools can purchase GopiOS if they have extra money. Like if you have extra money, then you purchase, else you don't purchase. Why you purchase? To support further development or simply get the ISO, install it and continue to use. That means if you don't have extra money, you just install it and continue to use. How long it would be supported? I remember they support 10 years plus. I think those information will come next. Silicon Pin sells laptop, desktop and pre-installed GopiOS on external NVMe drive. Okay, that means the operating system will be like portable, like put your operating system in your pocket and use wherever you go. Like if you go to your office, you stuck the device on your desktop or laptop, continue to use. You came back home, you stuck on your system, continue to use. And the main thing that you don't have to worry about drivers, setting up softwares, all will be there intact. That's a good thing. For enterprise, there is a support and customization plan. Like if you want to customize your operating system according to your needs, like controlling your employees or controlling your students, like there may be certain boundaries for students and your employees. Like you don't use those type of websites. Like in school, you don't use hub-like websites. I think there is much more to it. Whatever the thing is, they support customization plan and support. Got it. Under the hood, I think there would be a full stop. Under the hood, whoever written, I think the writing skill needs to be improved. Under the hood, it is a GNU operating system. What is a GNU operating system? Debatable thing, relatable thing, much more controversy. I don't want to go into this. Under the hood, it is a GNU operating system having group as the bootloader, CacheOS kernel. Okay, it provides CacheOS kernel. That means you will get some extra performance out of your operating system, especially if you are having Intel CPUs. That powers the container platform to host Ubuntu, Kali, Alpine, Red Hat derivatives and Windows installer. That means on top of GopiOS, you can install several Linux distributions along with Windows. Especially for the Windows, you will get maximum performance in comparison with VirtualBox, because VirtualBox virtualizes all those devices and drivers. But in this case, this virtualization layer will be very, very thin. So you will get better performance in terms of Windows. It also contains a ton of tools and softwares compiled by GCC and Rust. Got it. Complete list can be found on the source code. Okay, I will go to the source code and list all those softwares and tag those so that you can take a look at them. The main component is KDE. It looks like KDE. That means it is KDE. Even I am using this operating system. I have installed this GopiOS version 2.4.06. I think 3 days ago. Let me re-verify. Yes, it is GopiOS architecture having x86-64 and age is 3 days. Yes, it is 3 days. What are the other thing they use? They use Kevin Wayland. Okay. SDDM, theme, Breeze, console they are using. I like GNOME terminal because It provides me easy way to copy paste text and outputs and instructions from the terminal itself, like double click to select and triple click to paste, or just 3 tap to paste. So it becomes a very easy and very fast thing to work. Let's continue reading. The main component is KDE, as I have seen. This GopiOS is sitting on their shoulders. That means all those tools and softwares they are using on their GopiOS. So it is a thankful gesture. Entire GopiOS team thanks them. We know only thank you is not enough. What we'll do, I don't know. So what I have seen, still it seems to be a Linux based operating system. Simply another Linux distro. So why not GopiOS? GopiOS Linux. Let's understand. GopiOS use CassioOS kernel, as already mentioned before. Along with that, systemd and Wayland. Still, we think GopiOS is not a Linux distribution. Those are things you are using, but still you don't think GopiOS is not a Linux distribution. I don't understand. Let's continue. We waited years for the years of the Linux desktop. There is a very thin percentage of Linux users out there. Like majority of them are Windows, some of them are on macOS, very few of them are using Linux based distributions. And each and every year, all of the Linux community expects the next year will be the Linux desktop. That means the Linux desktop user will rise and they will dominate the market. That did not happen. I understand. We have waited for an hackable operating system that is stable, intuitive for common people. Linux and intuitive for common people, those two words do not sit together. They don't like, they're opposite. Let's continue. Having the capability, it just works, sits together with macOS and iOS. Like if you are using Mac or Apple devices, simply Apple devices, it just works out of the box. So that is a good quality to have within a operating system. A small team led by Shubhankar Sarkar, aka Car, that is me, started GopiOS, hackable operating system that anyone can build from source code, as Car believes. That means I believe, and I think it is a common thing everyone should believe, that if you cannot build from source, you do not trust it. That means I do not trust an operating system if I cannot build from it using source code. Like in my previous company, DWD Consultancy Services, they are mainly data company. They holds and manipulates. In simple terms, they make data resilient. What resilient meant? Like the data will continue to be as it is whenever and wherever you need it. Like data will not corrupt, data will be there where you need. Those type of work they does for university, for some financial organizations, and few of NBFCs, like non-banking commercial entities. So data is the main currency over there. What is the operating system they use? They use BSD derivatives so that they can build the entire operating system and store those data over there. Still, they don't believe in updated hardwares, like Intel management engine is there. So they are bound to use at least 10 to 15 years old devices for that reason. Okay, let's continue reading this one. So in short, if you cannot build it, you cannot trust it. Further development of GopiOS core is stuck due to low funds. Yes, we have came to a point like we are building GopiOS from the scratch using, like we are using assembly language, and the assembler we are using is GNU assembler GAS. We see some limitations for the GAS, and we see some limitation for the CPU instructions. Right now, we are willing to move to the RISC RISC system with our custom made assembler. That needs a lot of human work. No AI can do those type of works. So we need a lot of humans to be involved on this. And right now I am unable to find those type of helpers. If you are interested, please come and join us. Let's continue regarding this GopiOS version. In future release, version 4 or 5 of GopiOS will have GopiOS core. That is our main target. Under the hood, replacing CassioOS kernel, systemd, especially the systemd, and network. I remember Wayland, including Wayland, separating network stack, moving device drivers to user space, resulting fast performance and more stability and easy installation installable and manageable device drivers. Like you want to install device drivers, and those device drivers should not stuck under the kernel itself. Like if you are having a little small bit of faulty drivers, that could crash the whole system. That what happens in Linux, that doesn't happen on Linux servers, because they get drivers from the hardware manufacturer itself. But in case of Linux as a consumer grade operating system, the driver ecosystem is very, very bad. It will continue to be bad. That is the main reason why Minix, the grandfather or father of Linux, that is Minix, has realized and updated according to their greatness. But still Linux as Linux Foundation and other people are not profitable by doing this. So that is the reason why we are not getting those type of updates and upgrades over Linux. That is the reason why GopiOS core will be there. What are the preloaded apps on GopiOS? Day-to-day useful, like ordinary applications for general people, all applications are included. If you want any other applications to be included, let me know. By default, there is LibreOffice still for school and business. Google Chrome, as each and everyone have to use Google Chrome, because without Google Chrome, yes, there is Chromium, there is Firefox, but you understand, each and every one of us are using Google Chrome. Firefox, ESR for nerds. Yes, I understand. A lot of terminals, Node.js, Golang, Python with UV. That is a good point. And Rust for developers. Okay. App Center on GopiOS. There is two App Center. One is Discover. Each and every one of us using Linux as a desktop operating system, they know the Discover is a App Center. Along with that, you will get Helper Deck. Okay. Helper Deck simply is a downloader, CLI based, terminal based downloader. You will be able to download app image. So what is the difference? Like can get app image from the internet anywhere using any browser. But why do we need DAG? Because GopiOS prefers stability for long time, at least for 10-15 years. Because many of my older devices lived for 15 or 20 years. So an operating system should last longer than that. That is the reason why Helper Deck comes. Like if I want an application 10 or 15 years later, I can get that app image and I will be sure that this application will run smoothly if I get that application from Helper Deck. That is the reason why Helper Deck is there. Helper Deck will be useful after few years when those applications will not be available as updated or as stable as it is right now. The next heading is, can I install Linux on GopiOS? Yes, there is an installer called Box Buddy. I wish Box Buddy name was Linux installer. Simply Linux installer. What it does is installs Linux. I don't know why the name is Box Buddy. Yes, I understand. Technically, it is a boxy scenario where you box an operating system. But in terms of general people, the name should be like Linux installer. Simply using Linux installer, you can safely install any Linux, use and remove. Like you install an operating system, Linux based operating system, Ubuntu, Arch, you use. If you face any problem, I know each and every one of us face problem on Linux. While like there is a hell called dependency hell. So you start using Linux, it works perfectly fine. When you upgrade, it fails apart. The main reason is group related issue, bootloader issue, or simply dependency hell. So when you face any issue, you just remove the operating system and continue to use. Your data should be kept aside. Can I install Windows and GopiOS? Yes, there is a application called Winbot. Still, I would like to call it as a Windows installer on any operating system supporting Docker IC or Podman. If you can manage Docker or Podman, you can install Winbot so that you can install Windows on that. How do I get GopiOS? Already discussed. Download ISO, purchase NVMe, purchase laptop, all those things related to business and profit of Silicon Pin. I don't know. AI on GopiOS. Yes, you can do pretty much anything related to AI because all those AI related tasks happening on on any Linux can happen on Windows. No, it cannot happen on Windows. It can happen on GopiOS. LM Studio is readily available to download from helper.dag. So you download it and you use it, and there is pre-installed Python and updated GPU drivers. You need two things. One is Python, of course. 90% or more than 90% of AI development is happening on Python, and for the Python to run smoothly, you need updated GPU drivers. So GopiOS provides updated GPU drivers. Whether you are having that hardware or not, the driver is present and installed and set up, so that if you plug this GopiOS on another device, that device is ready to run. So you will continue your AI journey. Use case or users of GopiOS, school, business, and developers. I think those are repeating words. This is the part I was waiting for. Minimum hardware requirement. 4 GB of RAM. It is quite heavy in terms of lightweight other Linux distributions. I'm not comparing with GopiOS with the other Linux distributions. Still, it is quite a heavy requirement for 4 GB of RAM, x86 architecture, 64-bit processor after 2012. That means if you are having Intel i3 third generation, you can use GopiOS smoothly and finely. And what about the disk? You need 128 GB SSD or NVMe. That is not mentioned, I think. It will work on hard disk, but the performance and experience will be laggy and slow because the older hard drives, spinning drives, are slow. So if you want to integrate or work with AI, of course you will need some CPU, GPU, NPU, GPU especially NVIDIA, NPU especially on Intel updated systems. Let's see what Intel provides in terms of NPU. NTEL NPU. That means if you want to develop AI related tasks on GopiOS, the hardware requirement is having a GPU or NPU. If you want NPU to work, you need Core Ultra series. I remember Core Ultra nowadays having a second generation like Core Ultra 2 or something similar. But all those drivers are pre-installed and set up on GopiOS. So you will be able to use just plug and play like devices. You just purchase this device, plug GopiOS, and ready to work. That's it. Okay, I gotta go. See you tomorrow.